The Flat Earth Fail compilation is something of an institution on this channel. What started as a humorous look at some of the flat earth proofs out there has morphed into a juggernaut of failure that is gaining momentum every month. This is the Flat Earth Fail compilation, episode 22. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Flat Earth Friday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Yes, the Flat Earth Fail compilation is back, but before we get into that, a quick word from our sponsors today, Missed Apex Podcast. If you're an F1 fan and you're looking for a podcast for the 2021 season, then look no further than Missed Apex Podcast at missedapex.net. Join my friends Spanners and Matt Trumpets as they stream live every Sunday night, 8 PM UK time, with a live chat and edited versions as well, all ready for your Monday morning commute. Don't wait ages for an F1 podcast to be released straight after a race. Subscribe to Missed Apex. They might be wrong, but they're first. That's Missed Apex Podcast at missedapex.net. Link is in the description. Right, back to today's video, which is the 22nd edition of the Flat Earth Fail compilation, and we start with the one and only Level Earth Observer, who gets a bit sweary about the Mars Perseverance rover. Bleep button on standby.
And people wonder why I get off for this stuff. 2.7 billion for this fucking charade. We've had wheels, dirt, and now we're getting pictures of its own shadow.
What do you expect, Leo? It's 235 million kilometres away.
All whilst millions suffer. And they've even got the cheek to put some kind of spacey, dreamy kind of music to get your imagination going. Oh, let's all get blown away by the shadow of the rover while we all fucking suffer.
What do you mean suffer? That 2.7 billion has all been pumped back into the US economy, has it not? It's not taken onto the surface of Mars and chucked all over the place by the rover.
Excuse me, don't mean to state the obvious. How is this scientific? How is this benefiting anyone? What's the point of playing silly music to the images of the shadow of the rover?
Because it's an amazing achievement. This past year has been trash, hasn't it? Why don't we actually take something positive and celebrate an achievement that the human race has done?
The only shadow I want to see is of some geezer stood next to this thing with a sledgehammer, smashing it to pieces.
How lovely, Leo. How lovely.
That's it. I might just start my own space program. Take black and white and tinted images of my garden. I'll take shadows, pictures of wheels. I'll even come up with a better storyline, and I'll take my imaginary rover to the end of the garden, well out of shot from the original so-called landing spot, and I won't charge nowhere near as much as that, and I'll even do you the favour of dropping the silly music.
The thing is though, matey, that would be exponentially more entertaining than your current channel, wouldn't it?
It's an absolute charade. Wheels, dirt, and now a shadow fetish. These people are taking the...
As usual, an incredulity-fueled rant there from LEO, with no evidence at all to back up his claims. Classic fail there from Level Earth Observer. Right, up next is a channel called Uncommon Sense Oz, who has a variety of flat earth proof videos. This one in particular is talking about magnetic north.
Flat Earth Proof 16. Magnetic North. On the ball Earth, a compass needle is forever torn between having to simultaneously point to two constantly moving geomagnetic poles, and if it were actually drawn downward towards the north pole of the ball, the southern end of the compass needle would be pointing upwards, off into space.
Sorry, what? Drawn downward to the North Pole? North isn't down, it's north.
Not to mention that the entire core theory of the ball Earth model is pure speculation and conjecture, based on what I call earthquake echoes.
Actually, we have some incredible evidence for this. The seismic waves produced by earthquakes leave a seismic shadow. It's the same every single time.
When in reality, the deepest exploration ever was the Russian Kola Ultra Deep project, which only managed 12 kilometers before their drill bits started to seize up and quit. In fact, ball magnets, like they claim the ball Earth is, don't exist anywhere in nature, much less a magnetic ball of molten metal.
Actually, it's similar to a bar magnet, but Earth's magnetic field is very, very well understood and extremely well studied.
But ring magnets do exist, having their north pole in the center and the south polarity along their outer rim, which perfectly exemplifies the magnetism of the flat Earth. Now, ancient accounts describe the cause of the magnetic North Pole as originating from a cosmic mountain situated in the center of the Earth plane.
Please don't tell me he's going to run with this.
Which is also the center of the universe, where 4 rivers feed into the mountain, changing their directions every 6 hours, causing the tides on Earth. The mountain was also said to possess a magnetic force so strong that it was alleged to be able to pull the nails clean from ships. So investigate the subject for yourself and ask questions.
No thanks, because what you said right there, is nonsense. Next up is a channel called Flat Earth Rethinking Science. Doesn't bode well, does it?
The Sun, and its arc. The perimeter of the circle is the Sun's path. All angles from the perimeter are equally aligned to the center.
What is this rubbish?
Flat earthers get the movement of the Sun wrong because they place themselves in the middle of the Sun's rotation.
They place themselves in the middle of everything, to be fair.
When you look at it from the middle, you won't be able to see your so-called sunrise and sunset because all angles are aligned to the center equally. Let's take a look at this island and the dot. The Sun's zenith is at midday, and when the Sun is at its highest peak it is aligned from the center and your location. As the Sun travels far away it falls out of your line of vision and it becomes night. When the Sun comes back in your line of vision we view it as sunrise.
That's all well and good, but why don't we see a change in angular size of the Sun from sunrise to midday to sunset?
From sunrise to the zenith to sunset we see the arc of the Sun's path as a straight line. But the Sun does not move in a straight line.
It doesn't move at all. It appears to.
You have to remember that we can only see in 2 dimensions, and curved horizontal lines will appear as a straight line.
We can only see in 2 dimensions. Really? You may want to check that one. Okay. Well, after that one, I don't really know where to go, but we'll crack on with a video from Radio Wasteland, who is interviewing none other than Mr. David Weiss of DITRH. Waffle detectors at the ready.
So think of the world as a giant lake, and the land that surrounds it is the highest land on Earth. That land is called Antarctica, and that's just the edge of our lake. So if you sail to the edge of the lake, you don't fall off into space like a pancake. You sail to the edge of the lake. You can climb up on the land and you can walk away from the lake. And who knows how far that goes because it's off limits.
No, it's not. I'll be interested in seeing the exact line in the Antarctic Treaty where it says it's off limits.
It's off limits to everybody until the year 2041, where they're going to kick the can down the road another 60 years if we haven't figured it out by then. And the reason it's off limits is because if you go there, you will find out you don't live on a ball, because Antarctica is a very special place. Antarctica is very likely bigger. The land of Antarctica is bigger than all of the oceans and all of the continents combined.
But that's simply not true, and you have no evidence for this.
So, okay, so if it is flat, are you saying that we possibly live on an infinite flat plane?
Very possible.
Okay.
Here's the thing. We're going to talk about stuff that we can measure right here under our feet. We're going to talk about stuff beyond the shoreline of Antarctica, which we're going to have to speculate about.
Ah, so now that's a speculation. Brilliant.
And we're going to talk about stuff higher than you and I can go, which we're going to have to speculate about.
Oh, more speculation. It's almost as if you've got no idea, isn't it?
But there's tons of evidence of these things and experiments we can do to support them. You know, some people look at it and goes, maybe we live here. Antarctica is this ring, and maybe there's other worlds out here across the plane with their own sun. And maybe there's another ring out here with another sun.
And maybe there's a magic wardrobe that leads to another world. And maybe we're inside the bowels of a giant squid that swims an infinite ocean for eternity. And maybe, just maybe, the Earth is a globe and it's orbiting the sun.
Some people think that maybe Mars and Venus are the sun out here and Jupiter and Saturn are the suns out here.
Those people would be incorrect.
Okay? Again,
okay, I have a... Sorry.
Go ahead,
I
Kara.
have a nitty-gritty question, but what leaps to mind when I see this is, what about airline pilots?
Yeah, good question.
Which I'm sure is something you thought of. You know, they commonly fly, over the North Pole or whatever to reach someplace. So
yeah, so
what is happening in the cockpit there?
Yeah, most or many have no idea. They just think they're on top of this flat plane. I mean, this ball, and the Earth is so big that they don't notice the curvature. They actually think they see curvature because their windshields are curved a little bit, and that'll curve your horizon.
Oh, come on, really? Really?
And they follow their GPS. But there's many, more and more every day, that are waking up to this. There's pilots that are filming, like when they're flying from California to Germany, they're doing time lapses showing where the sun is and how it never goes down.
Well, depending on your direction of flight, the sun may indeed stay up a little longer than usual.
And it doesn't work on a ball. It only works on a flat Earth. And there's pilots that are figuring out the routes that they're taking make absolutely no sense on a ball.
There are no pilots that think that. And if there is, I'd love to meet them.
The Qantas pilots, they're figuring it out. And they say that they talk about it openly in their lounge, but they don't talk about it publicly because they'll lose their jobs. We interviewed a KLM woman pilot who was showing us all the reasons she knows the Earth is flat and stationary. Besides every FAA manual saying treat the Earth as a flat stationary plane, she interviewed with us on our show called Globebusters, and then the next day she was fired.
And you don't feel bad about that? If that genuinely was the reason she was fired, then shame on you. A belief that you hold and propagate has led to someone in the real world losing their job. That is an absolute disgrace. Sorry, but that has angered me. He talks as if it's no problem. It's directly your fault, David. Right, well, there we go. Flat Earth Fail Compilation 22, all done and dusted. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it today, then please do like and subscribe as well if the feeling takes you. I've been Simon Dan. Have yourselves a great weekend. And I'll see you on Tuesday for the return of the mighty Kent Hovind. See you then.